G'day Sports by Fry fans, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Sports by Fry podcast and YouTube channel. I'm here doing another Fry's Fast 5 with the NBA Finals in my firing line today. I'm going to go through 5 burning questions ahead of the finals because Game 1 is less than 24 hours away. Plenty to talk about with the Raptors going up against the Warriors. I'm going to do a big NBA Finals preview that you can read on sportsbyfry.com, but the purpose of today's episode is just to talk about the 5 questions that I think could dictate how the series unfolds. So, the first burning question. When will Kevin Durant return for the Warriors? We know that he's missed a chunk of time this postseason and he's already been ruled out of Game 1, but KD has travelled to Toronto with the team, so there's a chance he could play in Game 2. Personally, I think when the series shifts back to Golden State in Game 3, it'll probably be at a 1-1 ledger. It's very tough to see Toronto winning their 2 games at home. So if I was a betting man, I'd think that KD would come back in Game 3 or 4. There's a slight chance he misses the entire series, but I think given Kevin Durant's mentality and how much of a competitor he is, if I had to guess, I'd say he'll come back for Game 3. Question number 2. Which Fred VanVleet will show up? We saw through the first 15 games of the playoffs that VanVleet was playing miserably. He was averaging about 4 points. He was shooting under 20% from 3 and just couldn't get anything right. And then all of a sudden, just like that, he came to life in the conference finals against Milwaukee. In their last 3 wins, he averaged 16 points and shot over 82% from 3, which was ridiculous. I think he missed 3 total 3-point shots. So if he can come, and probably won't be shooting the lights out in that same regard against the Warriors, but if he can contribute, maybe knock down 50% of his threes and have a 20-point game here and there, that's the type of performances that Toronto's going to need to get over the hump against this Golden State juggernaut. I am a little doubtful over which VanVleet will show up, but hopefully it's the latter one for Raptors fans. Question number 3. Does home court advantage even matter? Toronto pipped Golden State's record by 1 game, so they will start the NBA Finals on their own home court, which could be interesting. I know that the Raptors do well at Air Canada Centre, or Scotiabank Arena now, sorry, but Golden State is not opposed to playing on the road. The last 5 playoff series that they've won, they've closed it out on the road. And dating back to Steph, Draymond and Clay's very first playoff series in 2013, for a 22 consecutive playoff series, Golden State has won at least 1 road game. So while home court might matter the first couple of games, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State stole one of the early ones. And if that's what does happen, we could see momentum shift and Golden State get the series back in their favour. But does it really matter? I don't think so. Not in this series anyway. Question number 4. How will the Warriors try and combat Steph Curry? Now, Curry's in arguably season best form. He's averaged 35 points, about that, against the Blazers in the conference finals, and we saw him just take his game to another level. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of defense the Raptors throw at him. Could they potentially just try and go one-on-one with Kyle Lowry? Maybe even do some weird lineup stuff and throw Danny Green at him, or even Kawhi Leonard. That could work. But we've seen that the Curry and Draymond Green pick and roll has been very successful this postseason. We might see them try and blitz Steph Curry at half court and double team him, try and get the ball out of his hands and force him to do work off the ball. But how the Raptors defend Curry will go a long way to determining a few early game results, and in turn that could swing the series one of 2 ways. If I was the Raptors, I would at least give Kyle Lowry a chance to try and combat him, but I would go in there with multiple schemes to throw at Curry to try and throw him off his game throughout the series. Finally, question number 5. Will this series impact Kawhi Leonard's off-season decisions? So, very quickly, I think Kevin Durant's almost virtually a goner. So, win or loss, I don't think that'll change what he does. But a win for the Raptors in the finals against Golden State could just see Kawhi stay. Again, I don't really know how much the result will have an effect on Leonard. He is a bit of a different cat, the cyborg Kawhi Leonard. So, it's tough to get inside his head and know what he's thinking, but it's tough to say, it really is. I don't know if this result of the finals will dictate his moves. Personally, I don't think it matters. I think he'll have a little bit of an inkling whether he wants to go or stay, but if Kyle Lowry and Marc Gasol come to life and we see that the Raptors form a galvanised unit, maybe Leonard will decide to stay and sign even if it's a 1-on-1 deal or something like that. So I don't think it will dictate what Kawhi Leonard does, but if they win the chip, might just change everything. That's going to do it for this Fry's Fast 5. Just quickly, my prediction, I think the Warriors will win this series. I don't think that's groundbreaking news. popular pick is for them to win in 6, but I'm going to say they win in 5. Toronto kind of celebrated like they've won the chip when they made the finals, so this season has been a win for them regardless. So for that reason, I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State come out and blitz them. I'm going to give Toronto one game at least. I don't think that they'll get wiped off the floor, and Kevin Durant's impending return could change the series a bit. If he doesn't come back until maybe a game 6 or 7, we could see the Raptors really push their case for a title win, but I think the Warriors will claim it in 5. That's going to do it. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. This afternoon / this evening, I will be recording an AFL Fantasy Team Selection Pod, so make sure you hit me up with your questions for that. But until next time, thanks for tuning in. Peace.